coming to you from the clouds. What's up? If you're a lead gen agency and you know that you can get leads, you can book appointments, but your show rate sucks, it took me 5 years to figure this one out. 5. I'm gonna give it to you in 5 minutes, so check it out. By the way, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that kind of stuff, and let me know what you think about the video. I have been in the agency game for a very long time. And in 2020, the issue, we always knew that show rate was an issue. Okay. And it still is an issue. It will always be an issue, but man, there are some problems that when you look at them and you're trying to solve, for example, the show rate problem, they are incredibly frustrating because no matter what you do, try and write better ads, you try and do better, like whatever it is, it's hard to solve some of these problems. But in 2020, I had a doctor come to me and his name is Dr. Ray Peavy. And he was during the pandemic, during the height of the pandemic, this doctor comes to me basically pleading for his life. He'd had a practice for 30 years and the pandemic basically more than cut his revenue and his collections in half. And the guy comes to me just looking for a lifeline. And I mean, you guys, in this business, we are not vending machines, okay? They don't give us money and we just poop out revenue. There's a process in the middle, all right? And they have to go through it. And he signed up for Patient Stream. He signed up for my agency, went through the process, and he was able to double his practice in 6 weeks. And this is the way I always tell this story. I always tell the outcome, but whenever I do a demo, I always tell what happened in the first 6 weeks, not the 6 or not the 2 months that he went through to double his practice, but the first 6 weeks, because the first 6 weeks was no shows, was chasing people, was all of the things that we all deal with in the agency game. And I'll tell you how he fixed it. And when I tell you, it's going to make sense and you're going to think it can't be that simple, but it is. All right. So one day, Dr. Peavy was walking past his front desk and in a state of complete, I don't know. I mean, how would you feel if your business of 30 years was going down the toilets and you almost had no control of it? So one day he's walking past the front desk and he hears her on the phone with a Facebook lead. And this is after 6 weeks of just failure. And he says, can you transfer that call to me? He just had to talk to this person. So he gets on the call and he talks to her like a doctor. Doctors don't say, let me book your appointment. Doctors don't say, what time of the week are good for you? Doctors say, I understand you're struggling with neuropathy. How long has that been happening? What kind of symptoms are you experiencing? And they ask about the person and they show an interest in the person. Now that is what should happen when you're dealing with people, when you're trying to help people. But what's the consequence, the good consequence of trying to help people? There's one thing that gets installed into your conversation, that gets installed into the sales cycle, that is a prerequisite of conversion. And that is what? Trust. And so all of a sudden, this one phone call, the person showed up for their appointment the next day. The next day they showed up for their report of findings and it closed into a $4,500 care plan. So let me just give you a quick synopsis. Doctor talks to customer, gives them a consult on the phone, builds trust. They show up, they give him $4,500. He finally turns like in some revenue for all this work he does. So he looks back at his team and he said, I don't know how this happened, but we're going to do this one thing over and over and over again. And so they installed a pre-qualification call and they doubled their practice in 2.5 months. So for all of you people trying to help the businesses that you're helping, you can automate so much of this game, but you can't automate trust. Whether you employ a team of telemarketers that are so tuned into the audiences that you serve and they can build trust vicariously, or you train your customers on how to relate and deal with people, people buy from those they know, like, and trust. So don't shortcut it. Don't treat it like it's a vending machine. Treat them like they're people that you're helping. Cool? That's how we solve it in our agency, and it works.